All right, thank you for staying with us. After much back and forth on the alleged falsification of certificate by President Bola Tinubu, which, if true, would probably have made him ineligible to contest the 2023 presidential election, the Chicago State University has released his academic records, proving that he indeed was a student of the school. The District Court of Northern District of Illinois, its Eastern Division, had ordered the institution to release the president's academic record following a request by the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, in the 2023 presidential poll. He had requested the original copy of Tinubu's academic record, questioning the authenticity of the document. Will this put an end to the witch hunting in some quarters that has thrilled the president's administration and victory at the polls? Joining us in the studio is public affairs analyst Oladende Ario. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
Now, that's the big question. Now that the records have been put straight by the Chicago State University, there's been divergent reactions to this, though, and the Minister for Aviation and Aerospace even went ahead to say that the presidential candidate of the PDP should actually apologize to Nigerians and the president for this embarrassment and all of it. But let's get your perspective.
Right. You know, when I told a friend yesterday that I'll be discussing this today, he said they will pray for me. Why? Because there's so many planks on which we'll be talking. Number one, you know, if you read the Bible, everywhere they will say God created the earth. They never use the word. It's the people that God made that now mention the word world. And that is why everything in the world is always in topsy-turvy. Okay? Now, it was good enough that they went to the tribunal to query the results and all of that. But this issue of certification is not a new thing, just that it refused to go away. What I found absurd is internationalizing what was a local problem.
Okay.
Yeah, because what if, for instance, is found wanting? It's not just going to be about him now, but about all of us.
As a country.
Those of us as a country, as a people, as a nation, those of us who have been opportune at one time or the other to travel out with the green passport, we've not, in some places, the expenses are not palatable.
Absolutely.
My 50th birthday, I was invited by a minister to Bulgaria. I was in Agbada, cap and all. 58th birthday. Now, upon arrival at the airport, there was a limo waiting for me outside. The people didn't come in, but immediately they saw my passport, they put me in one room. And me, as they say in Yoruba, Kogba, Kodija, I can as well go back to my country. It wasn't a big deal for me to come. We met at an international trade fair in Tokyo, and he said he will invite me, you know? And I got there, and I said, look, don't keep me here for more than 5 minutes. If I'm not entering, let me go back to my country. Just then, the people waiting for me had to come in, and then they rescued me. I wasn't carrying anything. Even my bag was a small one because I intended to buy new dresses, which I will, bring home. So if you have gone through all of these things, before you will take any local issue, before you will globalize it, you will think twice. I mean, this for me was a no-no. It's a case of what they call rough tackling in football. If you miss the ball, don't miss the leg. The whole idea was Tinubu must be brought down at all costs. They've started from the drug issue. That was cleared. They went to the issue of name, identity theft, and all of that. I saw his letter of admission, not given to me by him, but on social media. Somebody posted it, and the university carefully wrote the letter stating that He was joining them from another university, another school. They didn't mention that anyway. They said they assessed his credit rating that he qualified to join their system. And everything was well stated. And you know, in America, it's not all about O-level, A-level. You can go in with SAT, you can go in with GED. America is not like here. There are limited opportunities and channels. It's not like a one-way thing. You pass school, you don't pass, then you are stranded. No. And they should have taken control of all of these things before going the way they went. But what happened? Two people can damage any country. Those who don't know what to say and are talking, and those who know what to say and are not talking. And I said, look, we can't go this way. The second thing is the misuse of social media. People who know next to nothing, who cannot solve their individual problems, they become experts in Tinubu affair, postulating, projecting, and writing all manner of nonsense. I had to call one of them. I said, oh, if you see this man one-on-one, can you tell him you wrote this? I said, no. I said, why do you have to write? I let people know. If anybody sends anything to me, I will. If I'm not convinced that it makes sense, I won't share. There is one video trending now of a party in central London where the celebrant came up and said, those who didn't buy Ashwebi should leave the party. And if they fail to leave, that they will not reach 70 before they will die. I mean, it's been going around. I cannot share such a video because it's not going to add value to humanity. And I'm glad that at the end of the day, things have panned out this way. Initially, I wasn't comfortable with the president's lawyer, refusing to allow access. Because as I'm seated here...
I think that was deliberate.
It wasn't necessary for all I care. If anybody says, I didn't go to secondary school, I won't reply you. I can assure you, my classmates, my juniors, my seniors, they will come out and say, we know this guy. He was even a prefect, and it was this, it was that. You understand? But anyhow it has played out, we are somewhere. And I would rather not want to say the vanquished or the victor, okay? Because for me, I ask myself, is it all about Nigeria or about personal interest? Yes, because if we are fighting, and that's why we still say that our temperament for democracy is still not ideal. Okay?
What do you mean by it's still not ideal?
If you lose an election, like yesterday on another platform, when the governor of Nasarawa State was removed by a tribunal, and we were now saying they did so much to arrange the election, and now this. That was money gone down the drain. Where is the INEC staff on ground who supervised the election? They too must go for it. You know what I'm saying? Because they organized, supervised, and released the results that was made public. Now, if a panel of 4 people are going to be throwing away results of election where more than 1 million people killed in the sun and voted, won't we begin to think of another system of electioneering whereby people will have to go and suffer when at the end of the day they will have been disenfranchised when their expressed votes will not hold any water. Here, and it's because of the mentality of knowing that you win an election, your life is made. Yeah. I mean, if it's where it will not impact you any significantly, you won't go to war.
Service.
Sorry?
Where it is genuinely a matter
the service is the whole idea behind it. Right. You won't cause mayhem. Okay? But here, it's not the case. But the
law gives room for that.
Well, unfortunately, as we said, some of those things that need to be changed through constitutional amendment, they will not happen. Why? The people in authority, National Assembly, are you asking them to legislate against themselves? They will not.
Right. The registrar of the Chicago State University, Caleb Westberg, in addition to tendering these documents as requested for by the Atiku Abubakar side, also came in to the proceedings to give oral testimony, and he said that the university is bombarded daily with, numerous inquiries regarding the person of their former student. Of course, he has since affirmed that Bola Tinubu graduated with honors from the university. This in addition, this so much interest, in addition to the relentlessness of Atiku Abubakar. Where do you see this? How do you see this? What do you think could be behind this, and where do you see this going?
It wasn't Tinubu that was on trial. The university was on trial. Because at the end of the day, their pronouncement would be a determining factor, okay, which of course we have all seen. They also need to do a lot of clearing and cleaning to retain their integrity. You understand what I'm saying? Otherwise, in future, it may backfire. But I mean, what they are releasing is different from what was in the public space already. There might be issues, okay? Because all those things that were initially released were authenticated and signed by known faces in the system. The gentleman called Eno Omokri had personally written to that university, paid to obtain information, and it's brought into the public space. Again, it became so petty when you said somebody read beside me and he called himself an accountant. My MBA is, when you hear MBA, Master's in beside me. I didn't read beside me. My MBA was in strategic management and technology marketing. So will you now go to war with me over that? I mean, people became very petty. And when you look at his professional antecedent and his career, Mobu will not hire anyhow. I mean, a lot of people wanted to work when we left university. They were not given employment for whatever reason. They take their time when they are headhunting. It's on record. Nobody can deny that he worked with Mobu. Mobu is not a backstreet or backdoor company that you will say because he knew somebody, they rigged him. No. These are areas where I thought we should have been a little bit reserved in going the whole hog. Now, so much airtime is being wasted on this, so much man hours is being wasted discussing this, whereas we have our problems confronting us, which for me, we should have joined hands with the president to resolve. The same way I told Labour, strike and strike and strike. Where has it taken us? For once, let's admit that things are not what they should be. Go to your drawing board, whether you are thinking from within your box or outside the box, come up with solution.
Do you agree that this could be a form of distraction?
It has been no matter, even if it's a lion heart, there was no way we were distracted. Nobody, I mean, it was a crisis period, okay? That he could even be going around attending Onga, reading independence speeches and all of that, showed that the man had some heart of steel. Some other people would have been out of public space, okay? They would have gone, some would have even have hypertension. They would have been so scared to even come out again, probably hoping for the worst. But I think we should now, at this point, put this behind us and move forward.
But it seems that a lot of persons are still not putting it behind. They are still, having this conversation. You need to see the frenzy on social media, how people are still, having this conversation. There are those who are still trying to poke holes in comparing what is and what is not.
I hope my auntie is listening. Right. She will be shocked to see me here this morning. She sent me so many bitter reports. And I couldn't say anything because I didn't believe in all those things. And for me, it's not the way to go.
Is this really about national interest?
It's so many levels of interest now. Okay, let me say this to you. A friend was telling me yesterday that 60 years ago, the northern feudal authorities, they made sure they dealt with Awolowo, 1963, and then ended up in jail. 30 years ago, it was MKO's turn. Supposedly won an election, but what happened? It was denied victory. He was arrested for declaring himself winner and kept in solitary confinement until he lost his life. and that it's a cyclical 30-year crisis. Now it's Tinubu's turn to face that same crisis. I wouldn't say yes, I wouldn't say no, because it's laying bare facts. Awolowo went through it, yes. MKO, yes. And now, here. And for me, it's not the way to grow a nation. It becomes a pain for me. Why? The same Atiku that Tinubu was instrumental to making AC candidates when PDP rubbished him. They worked together then. What now happened? Must it be me, myself, and I? That's why I said, all of this, I didn't been there for noble intentions. I would have been clapping for them. But no, it's not about the man on the street, not about the economic crisis that we are facing and all of that. That's why I'm saying, at the point, that there are countries where they manage how people, I mean, they don't use Facebook, Twitter and all that, because they foresaw some of the things that's happening here now. We've had a lot of half-truths, mistruths, and barefaced lies posted, and they will post it, and they'll be telling you that they know what they are saying. Unfortunately, like I told a young man yesterday, I said, look, you are suffering from sedimentary bitterness. What your father spent his entire lifetime to achieve, I mean, that he could not achieve, Tinubu achieved them, and you refuse to accept him and let him rule. Continue in your ways.
There is even a twist to this whole controversy that is yet to die down, because while it appears to be a form of vindication of the Tinubu side, people are also saying, but what about picking holes? What about the inconsistencies between the college, the American college transcript and the CSU certificate? The registrar of the university, that's Caleb Westberg, is also quoted as saying that it was possible that the 1952 and the 1954 discrepancy, he insinuated that many students usually make those kind of mistakes about their dates of birth. He also said that it could also be an error, the fact that the college script is reading a female. He attested to all of that, gave oral testimonies to all of that. What do you make of that?
ATM card given by my bank. My first name is Itunuolua. Because it's maybe too long for them, they wrote Itunola. So each time I had to tender my card and maybe any other identification, like the permanent voter's card, for instance, there's a conflict. They say, this is Itunola, it's Nolua. You know something? The same thing, my driver's license, they wrote Ifunu Olua. Immediately I saw it, I went back to them in Ojudu. There's a mistake. The man said he wasn't, that the man who did the punching made the mistake that I should wait for 4 years, right? But I'm coming for renewal. Right. So now this is the same me having 3 identities, which of course is not my making. Okay? I wrote Itunolua for the bank. They abbreviated it to Itunola. I filled Itunolua at FRSC, where they gave me the license. They turned the T to F, and I asked the man, you are a Yoruba man. Have you had anybody answering if you know Olua before? He apologized. He said it was a mistake, that he had the visual impairment.
But you're still stuck with the name.
Sorry?
You're stuck with the name.
What can I do now? Yeah. Well, I mean, they told me, I detailed the scene immediately. They said I have to wait till whenever I'm renewing. So as I'm seated here, I can be arrested for carrying somebody else's driver's license. Right. Because at that time, computing at the rate of precision that we now have it wasn't available then. Yeah. So it is possible that a lot of things were done manually. In the letter of admission, they said they should go for medical test as part of admission, pre-admission processes. Now, if I go for a test and you go for a test, the reports will not be the same thing, because we will be tested for different issues. Okay? I mean, so these are things that I felt, look, human errors are possible. Like my own ATM card, it wasn't an error. They did it deliberately. not knowing what to do or where to just go, write it, no, just put it there. So long as the card gives me money, when I have cash, money in my account, me, I don't complain. So, I mean, mistakes happen everywhere, here and there. I don't know.
But what do you make of how we handle matters of losses in this case now, where we have an election, you lose the case and you lost, and you're still trying to do one thing or the other?
I told you, they call it wrong tackle. If you miss the ball, don't miss the leg in football. You know, somebody is a dribbler and he was coming your way and you were like, he will not go. And the guy was able to pass with the ball. You miss the ball, you just wait for his leg and voila, you kick the man. Understand me? It's not right. It shows that we do not have the Olympic spirit in us, whereby we see things as competition, but fairness must be brought in. And the law is very, very clear. Whoever will allege must be able to prove. No tribunal or court will generate evidence, okay, or will assist you to manufacture proof. It is the onus is on you that is accusing to come up with that. And then if you cannot, accept your fate. 4 years is a short time frame. Go back to your drawing board, plan again. Maybe it may be your lucky day. PDP was in power for 16 years, right? APC, some parties came together, marshaled up against PDP, came up with new strategies or whatever, and then they trounced the PDP. Till date, PDP is still struggling to wangle their way. That apart, the issue of national unity also comes to contention. And that's where my prophet, is on Wiki. I call him my prophet. Wiki, people were vilifying Wiki, and Wiki said, we talk of rotational presidency in Nigeria. Now, we've had a Buhari, a northerner, for 8 years. And we don't have to, it may not be written in black and white. It's only fair that the next presidential candidate of the parties should come from the south.
All right.
Okay?
But
why? Because if as Atiku now, one good his way, became PDP candidate, if he had won the election, we would have had to contend with 16 years back to back of northern presidency. And would that be acceptable to the south? Right. I would say no. Right. That would have caused a lot of crises.
We hear you, but what do you recommend moving forward? People have now resurrected arguments of let all this, court businesses challenging the legitimacy of a president that has now been inaugurated. Let all this court business end before inauguration. Do you agree that, we should do this, since you've already said that this, no doubt, is distractionary for any president? So should we have a timeline where, opponents or dissatisfied, Nigerians can use and exhaust them before inauguration?
There are prescribed timelines.
Yes.
Perhaps the timelines, the dates are short. They are not enough. Let's do an amendment. If they have to increase number of days, let it be done. I'm not happy that Nigeria now had to go through this. Not Tinubu per se, because those of us who have friends across the universe, they will ask you what's happening in your country. Then you are either going to tell them the truth or you parry the question, in which case you leave them asking more questions. We don't need all of that. We are not in a good situation, security, economy, and all of that. Imagine that dollar now is over 1,000 naira. I would have expected that everybody should now begin to think of how do we solve this problem together. Because if you bring this country down, it will fall on all our heads. The three of us are here. If this group should come down, you won't say, oh, the two of you are TVC staff, and me, I'm a stranger, and then fall on my head alone. No, all of us will be gone for it. Especially those of us who don't have second passport. They should have mercy on us. I have no other country to call my own. I just told you what happened to me in Sofia. Okay? I've had the same experience in India. And they were asking me, and I said, look, let me go back to Lagos. I didn't come here to live here. I was invited here as a consultant. So why am I being... And they immediately said, okay, they are sorry. Because for me, I don't have to be in your country. If I'm not needed, I will go away. The person that invited me saw something in me and said I should come. And I'm here. You are now treating me as if I'm a fugitive. No. So we should be mindful of all of that. Now, the odor that this one has created now will take a while before it will clear. Yeah, because those who travel frequently, you ask them, they will tell you their experiences. And that's why, me, I don't travel frequently. I don't even have the money. But whenever I have to go, I try to buy honor by doing business class. You understand me? Yes, I get here now that they will say, come my friend, I'm traveling business class. So I can do shakara and then be fairly treated. It's not the best. So, and we can do better. Let's not at the altar of me, myself, and I damage our country beyond where we are. We are already damaged. And we are struggling to rebuild our integrity, our name, and every other values attached to us. So when we now go to the market to go and wash our linens in the public, especially when we cannot wholeheartedly or wholesale establish what we are pursuing, where do we go from there?
But I want your response to this matter quickly because we're running out of time. Our former Education Minister, Obi Ezekwesili, was saying that the president could have, voluntarily just asked the Chicago State University to publish its academic records and not allow us go through
this wahala. Yeah. I said that as I'm seated here, if you said this Ariyo didn't go to secondary school, I will not reply you. Why? I'm so sure that students of Abekta Grammar School, both my senior, my junior, my mates, we will tell you, no, he was here. He was a prefect. It was this, it was that. And if I choose to respond, I'll simply write the school or post my result publicly, and then I will be free. Unfortunately, my name is not Bola Tinubu. I'm not in his shoes. I can't answer that question for him. But he must have had his reasons.
Why
because it was a war situation, don't forget that. And the proper one was like, let me not empower my attackers.
You were saying it was
let them go other route.
All right.
Anybody could do that in his shoes. He needed to protect himself.
Absolutely.
It's important.
Let's leave the conversation here now because our time is up. Public Affairs Analyst Olade Ariyo, thank you for your time.
Your certificate, please. I want to see it.
Don't worry. You will have it after the show.
She won't dispute that.
Thank you for inviting me.
You will have it.
All right.